teacher, how are you? I hope you are doing well. When you hear the word beauty, what do you think? Probably in a strong man with big arms and with athletic body. Or probably in a woman with 90, 60, 90 body with a big blue eyes and with a long legs and with a beauty here. But those are the standard. But what is a standard? A standard is when you follow someone or something just for having a good level in the society. And let me to tell you that people who follow the standard have a lot of problems, because let me to tell you that not only culture but social media made a lot of standard, even you don't believe, every day, because people are trying to set in the society. They want to have a good level, and it is good or bad. Think about this. Standard, and it means beauty, a beauty body, or health. Have a good health. Imagine that you are following a standard that is really dangerous. That it means that you don't have to eat in order to have a slim body, but you don't have to eat. And if you do that, if you eat, you have to eat a really expensive food. And also, you are not only to spend a lot of money, but also you will spend a lot of time doing that. And that's why I told you, think about that. If you want to follow the standard, you have to take into account that you will spend money. That is something that we don't have a lot, at least I don't have a lot of money. But also in your health, how you will damage your health just for having a good body. Or imagine in other parts of the world, people who uses some things over here just for having a good beauty, they are damage this part of his body, and it is something bad. But also, let me to tell you that it is something bad, because they are following the standard and they don't think that they are making bad things. They are damaging his body, and it is not something good. That's why I have this question for you. Is it good to follow those standards, or is better don't follow those standards but having a good health? Probably you could see people who are fat, they say that, like me, people who doesn't follow those standards, they live good. But imagine people who follow that standard will live really bad, not only in that health. If it is poor, or if she is poor, just for having or just for following those standards, they will spend a lot of time. It is something bad. And also, let me to tell you that in the Republic Democratic of El Congo exists a standard called the Thief Charpain. What it is when people modify this part of his face, or all his or her face, just for having or for look really amazing, beautiful, or handsome. It is something bad, because people who are not doctors are making those things. Imagine that. Doctors don't do that things because they say that it is not necessary. And also in that part of that world, technology is not so good. Technology is not good in that part. That's why they do that with bad things, with not recommending instruments, and they probably could damage this part of his mouth. But it's not the worst. The worst part is that people who are making that thing, if they don't do that, they will damage the brain. Why? Because there are some nerves that are over here, and if people who are making that touch one nervous, people even could die.
continue with the most controversial beauty standard, we have extremely slim. As we know, women want to be slim as top model. Most of them achieve this through doing exercise or eating healthy, but some of women look for other dangerous and extreme techniques such as bulimia. Bulimia is a mental illness and eating disorder where people eat a lot of food in a very short period of time and then they make themselves vomit. This in order to stop gaining weight. Also, also social media impacts in teenagers and women life because uh, seeing edit photos of extravagant and unnaturally models creates then insecurity. Thanks to social networks, many teenagers and women don't appreciate their bodies and they feel uncomfortable. Being slim or size zero should never be a gold standard for being beautiful. Now we are going to continue with unnecessary surgeries. As we know, here in Latin America, we think that that if a woman can be considered as beautiful, women must have a curvy body, long hair, and a perfect face or a perfect nose. Obviously, this is not true because all the bodies are different and all of them are perfect. But some of these male chauvinist ideas affect women who feel uncomfortable and insecure with their body. So they decided to put their life at risk with unnecessary and exaggerated cosmetic surgical treatments. And again, social networks have changed the way in which we see feminine bodies. And the worst of all this is that many times surgeries don't have the expected result. Now we are going to continue with our next standard beauty, which is related to being dark skinned. Obviously, uh, being dark skinned shouldn't give anyone an inferiority complex, but in Asia, women prefer their skin to be very fair because they consider that being a dark skin is a sign of lower social status. For that reason, many Japanese, Chinese, and South Korean women and men spend every day a lot of money in skincare products in order to their skin look as white as a porcelain doll. Now we are going to move to the west side of Africa. While women in the occidental part of the world want to get rid of their scars, for Kara tribe in the west of Africa, they consider scars are beautiful. For that reason, women and men in this from this tribe lacerate their chest, backs, or stomach because this represents beauty and courage. So the scars are made for them with razor and knife.
The last beauty standard, which also is one of the most controversial, is the stretched neck in Thailand, right at the border of Myanmar, where lives a tribe of Reina people called Kayalawi. The Kayalawi have become very popular for their women using rings or coils around the neck that make it seem like the neck is stretched and the head floating above a pedestal of gold. But the most interesting thing is that the women who wear those rings aren't citizens of Thailand but refugees from Myanmar, escaping poverty and conflict in their homeland, where they also are members of a marginalized minority group, which is called Kaya. In Thailand, the stretched neck is a tradition and also a cultural curiosity that many tourists will pay to see. Also, Thailand's stretched neck not only are controversial cultural attractions, but they also are homes and workplaces for refugees. Well, all the beauty standards we have mentioned before have had a tremendous impact around the world. Since the 50s and 60s, the idea of slimmer bodies, being healthier, being more attractive, being stronger started, and these ideas still exist today as one ideal body shape, which is both slim and curvaceous. Since then, also makeup and other type of products that promise to cover up, to remove, for example, blemishes such as cellulite, stretch marks, and also skin imperfections like vitiligo, birthmarks, and others have been a huge part in many women's and men's lives. Well, to sum up, we can see and we know that the most controversial beauty standards and the rest of the standards are everywhere. Upon turning on the television, one is quickly exposed to commercial advertising offering different type of products that can help people to feel more comfortable with themselves, to feel more attractive, stronger, healthier, and also could be a television series that is explicitly aged. So that's why it is clear to see that there is a universal obsession with obtaining beauty and its close associate youth. Well, just to finish and as a comment, we can see and we know that there are many people around the world that well, maybe we are that people that are using those kind of products that many different beauty standards offered to us, and maybe we use them because we feel, as I said, more confident, comfortable with ourselves, and but it is necessary to say that those products not only have helped us but also have caused damage to many thousand women and men's lives.